11,000 people out of Kabul in less than 36 hours. It's an incredible operation. Let me be clear. The evacuation of thousands of people from Kabul is going to be hard and painful, no matter when it started, when we began. It would have been true if we had started a month ago or a month from now. There is no way to evacuate this many people without pain and loss of heartbreaking.
No, there are ways to minimize it. And can't stop it all. There's bad people and bad actors out there, and you're definitely one of them. But there's ways to get for this great retreat not to happen. There's a better way to evacuate those people. There's a better way to basically surrender Afghanistan.
Images you see on television. It's just a fact. My heart aches for those people you see. We are proving that we can move those thousands of people a day out of Kabul. We're bringing our citizens, NATO allies, Afghanis who in fact has helped us in the war effort. But we have a long way to go, and a lot could still go wrong.
A lot could still go wrong. A lot could still go wrong, Joey. That's not something that the president should be saying. I mean, they're not my president. Friggin'. That's... A lot could still go wrong. That means we didn't have a plan. You didn't have a plan. Because we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan, Junior.
Go wrong. But to move out 30,000 people in just over a week, that's a great testament to the men and women on the ground in Kabul and our armed services. It also reflects a tireless diplomatic effort. In order to keep a steady flow of planes taking off from Kabul and maximize our evacuation capacity, we have quickly stood up an unprecedented global effort and established a series of processing stations in third countries.
So, because I already watched this, so I'm going over it. Friggin'. So basically what's going on here is, your holiday plans, they're canceled. You've been bumped. Our planes got to go to Afghanistan. Well, they're not going directly to Afghanistan, but they're going they're going to be used in this effort. And so, people are going to have airline troubles. Like, if you're planning on, making a flight, reservations or something like that right now, just don't. I mean, maybe it's a little late, but, freaking Biden, we don't need no freaking Biden around. Sorry, I got distracted. We don't need friggin' to be doing this crap.
In short, we're not flying them directly to their country, we're flying to these processing stations, where we're working with more than 24 countries across 4 continents. We've secured agreements with across the Gulf, in Central Asia, and in Europe, including processing centers in Qatar, Germany, Kuwait, Spain, and elsewhere. It allows us to sort and process these evacuees. These transit centers provide a safe place for the SIV applicants and other vulnerable Afghanis and their families to complete their paperwork while we conduct security screenings and background checks.
This is where he admits that there's a significant terror threat.
Where they continue on to their final destination in the United States or in another country, one of our NATO allies as well. And so from Asia to Africa, from Europe to the Western Hemisphere, nations are making generous offers to support resettlement efforts. And I've been in personal contact with the leaders of many countries, including Qatar, Germany, Spain, Italy, the UAE, and others. They're making vital contributions. To thank them for their support and to discuss how we can continue to coordinate our efforts in Afghanistan moving forward is the reason why I continue in contact with them. And I want to again thank all of our partners for their continuing to stand together. We've also activated the first stage of what's referred to as the Civil Reserve Air Fleet.
Guys, we will never make it.
We've also activated...
All right, sorry about that. this is where friggin' it gets into recruiting airplanes, civilian aircraft, for this effort, and where we're not, just don't make any plans, any trips, anytime soon.
Created the first stage of what's referred to as the Civil Reserve Air Fleet to help with the onward movement of evacuees from these transit centers. Our military aircraft and others will get them to these centers, but then we're going to get the Civil Reserve Fleet. It's a program that's was designed in the wake of the Berlin airlift after World War II to use commercial aircraft to augment our airlift capacity.
And maybe we're doing this too. Maybe the government's doing this as well, because these airline places, they're going to get so much freaking money for this. And hell, you know what? It's actually cheaper just to, leave our planes over here, and we'll just, roll out some of these newer ones.
This is a voluntary program for our commercial airlines, and we're grateful for those airlines and the U.S. carriers who are supporting us. This effort will only use 3 or 4 planes from each of the major carriers, vast fleets of aircraft. So there should be no effect or a minimal effect on commercial air travel, and we'll stay in close coordination with our partners to mitigate any impact. These Civil Reserve flights will be helping facilitate the safe movement of people from staging locations in transit centers like Qatar or Germany to the United States or to a third country. None of them will be landing in Kabul. Now, the American aircraft that part of this will not be going to any country but the United States. As this effort unfolds, I want to be clear about 3 things. 1, planes taking off from Kabul are not flying directly to the United States. They're landing at U.S. military bases and transit centers around the world. Number 2, at these sites where they're landing, we are conducting thorough scrutiny, security screening for everyone who is not a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident. Anyone arriving in the United States will have undergone a background check. Number 3, once screened and cleared, we will welcome these Afghans who helped us in the war effort over the last 20 years to their new home in the United States of America.
So basically we have, he just admitted that we're doing the whole, limiting these people, like making sure these people aren't terrorists and stuff. But there's a significant terror threat, or else, why not just... But he didn't even mention fucking the worst thing than the Taliban, and that's the Delta variant. What about the Delta variant? Because this seems like a very big super spread event. And, God forbid, I don't know what the numbers are in Afghanistan for COVID infections, but if the entire, country, apparently there's no COVID there. And so how did these people in caves do that? Huh?
Because that's who we are. That's what America is. I've been touched by the outpouring of support that we...
That's not... Don't talk about your kiddie adventures, dude.
...is and how dangerous the dangers it poses to our troops on the ground. The security environment is changing rapidly. There are civilians crowded at the airport, although we've cleared thousands of them. We know that terrorists may seek to exploit the situation and target innocent Afghans or American troops. They're maintaining constant vigilance we're maintaining the constant vigilance to monitor and disrupt threats from...
What if the Taliban decided to blow up the fucking airport? They're holding the fucking airport hostage. And what I think actually happened is, because they dropped the flag at the embassy, the U.S. embassy in Afghanistan, and they moved it to the airport. They relocated them. They pushed them out of the embassy. It's like, okay, we're going to... And that's what this is about. Going once again, this is your last... this is your last, place of occupation. You all get, you all leave. And, that's... So just think, how are they holding up the airport? Seriously, how are they holding up the airport? like what's the blackmail, or I shouldn't say blackmail, but what's the ransom? What's the ransom, Joe? Because
Any source, including the likely source being ISIS-K, the Afghan affiliate referred to as ISIS-K. But we're under
ISIS K. This is new. Is it like ISIS KKK?
no illusions about the threat. I said on Friday, ISIS-K is a sworn enemy of the Taliban, and they have a history of fighting one another. But every day we have troops on the ground. These troops and innocent civilians at the airport face the risk of attack from ISIS-K from a distance, even though we're moving back the perimeter significantly. We're working hard and as fast as we can to get people out. That's our mission. That's our goal. And our determination to get every American citizen home and to evacuate our Afghan allies is unwavering. We continue to see not only the enormous scope and scale of the effort, we will see the individual lives that are.
You failed. There was enough information out there, you stupid son of a bitch. Fucking kid diddler.
Frightened Afghans who aren't sure what to do. To state the obvious, it's heartbreaking. We're all seeing it. We see it, we feel it. You can't look at it and not feel it. Nothing about
It says you and friggin' two kids, you freaking kid diddler.
this effort is easy. But the women and men of the United States Armed Forces are acting bravely and with professionalism and with
They're being held hostage.
basic human compassion. I want to offer my profound thanks to our service members on the ground in Kabul and to all those at U.S. bases around the world who are welcoming and caring for these evacuees. And to all the diplomats and civil servants who are working around the clock to rescue American citizens, the citizens of our allies, our Afghan partners, vulnerable Afghans such as women leaders and journalists. What we are doing is extraordinary.
Yeah, it's an extraordinary failure, you fucking blunderous fucking kid diddler. I mean, like, seriously, this is the great retreat, great surrender, and then America's great surrender, or the great American freaking hostage situation. This is a freaking historical fucking moment right now. Like, that shit in Iran was nothing compared to this. Freaking, we lost the embassy. And yeah, this is horrible. Afghan staff at U.S. Embassy losing hope of rescue report. Afghanistan updates avoid Kabul airport. U.S. Embassy tells citizens. Afghan staff. Let's just check out this. Is it the WAPO? Washington Examiner. So, hold on a second. The cable sent on Saturday revealed that Afghan staff at the embassy were told to go to the Hamid Karzai International Airport in Kabul, where the U.S. military is leading the evacuations. The staffers had been warned to expect difficult conditions. However, no one anticipated the brutal experience that occurred. The cable said Afghans said that they had been hit, spat on, and cursed by the members of the Taliban near the airport. Defense Secretary Austin confirms Americans have had tough encounters with Taliban. Some staffers say that they had nearly been separated from loved ones, while others said they had collapsed in the rush of people. It would be better to die under the Taliban's bullet than face the crowds again, the cable said, quoting a staff member, while another said, happy to die here, but with dignity and pride. The Biden administration is working to evacuate Americans' Afghan allies who face danger after Taliban quickly and easily rose to power in Afghanistan, the speed of which caught U.S. officials by surprise. Yeah, to anyone that doesn't pay attention to intel, it was like, it was there, he was trying to do something, sooner and stuff. I mean, like, and that's the whole thing. He's like, he didn't follow Trump's plan. Like, that's basically what it came down to. Because Trump was trying to leave earlier. Here it is later on, because Biden was, all about celebrating 9/11 and shit, with this great achievement, 20 years to the day, just trying to get that little footnote in American history. Fucking dumbass. There was approximately 30,000 people evacuated from Afghanistan since the end of July, with about 25,100 since August 14th, and White House officials said on Sunday. The administration faced criticism for asserting the timeline of a Taliban takeover correctly, ready to evacuate those who remained in Afghanistan. So figure there's a better way to word this, but Kabul airport is U.S. embassy hostage situation, and now it's Kabul airport critical as withdrawals. U.S. embassy warns people to avoid Kabul airport. Up to 10,000 Americans remain trapped in Afghanistan. Scandinavian reports similarly horrific news. Many are saying Kabul is telling Americans to stay away, not come to the airport. Joe Biden has been wrong about everything. Americans still stuck there appear to be in a hostage situation. See what I'm saying? Yeah, let me just see. Let me just do Kabul airport. Hostage situation. Like, Ben Sassy, hostage situation. GOP says Biden has drifted into a hostage situation in Afghanistan. Yeah. Democratic lawmaker says U.S. military isn't responsible. Wait a second. Democratic lawmaker says U.S. military isn't responsible for getting Americans to Kabul airport safely. Fucking Democratic lawmaker on the House Armed Services Committee said Thursday that U.S. military is now responsible for guaranteeing the safety of American citizens still trapped in Afghanistan after the Taliban took control of the country. Fucking John Gandhi, whatever the fuck. It makes no sense whatsoever to send U.S. troops into Kabul to extract American citizens or residents who have so far been unable to travel through Taliban checkpoints to the international airport for extraction. That's just a fucking. Well, maybe if that's the whole thing. Is this why, like, this happened and such? Like, hold on a second. Let me try and get my thoughts together here. Basically, the U.S. just pulled out real fast and didn't give people, a chance to freaking evacuate, make plans to evacuate and everything. And so it's just like, things close up real fast around them. And you know what? That's because Biden was, extended. He messed up the plans of a lot of these people too. So freaking, there's, what a fucking dickhead. Yeah. We're relying on a civilian airport that has only one runway, he explained. One RPG taking down a plane onto that runway means we are stranded. So the president needs to make sure that this hostage situation that into which we are drifting, that the Taliban knows we will not stand for it. But now, for the purposes of this moment and how the president and his team's incompetence have gotten us here, they put us in a situation where we have a hostage situation developing. They abandoned Bagram Air Force Base in one of the stupidest military blunders in all of U.S. history. And now we're left in a situation where we are relying on a civilian airport, Karzai, that has only one runway. I don't think American people fully appreciate the danger and peril into which the president has put us, because one RPG taking down a plane onto that runway means we are stranded. So the president needs to make sure that this hostage situation into which we are drifting, that the Taliban knows we will not stand for it. And see, I came about this, through critical thinking. I didn't know that a senator actually, just said this and stuff. So, freaking, anyways, this can't turn out to be a long video, and sorry, I'm just kind of like, I've had a lot of caffeine today.